Good afternoon, everybody. It is MidNovember Forecast, guys, and I hope you guys are all enjoying your wonderful November 1st. So, yes, it is finally the 1st of November. We're finally getting to this fall season. Feel like now we actually saw record cold temperatures. Well, not record breaking, but we saw incredibly cold temperatures this morning with 34 degrees, and it felt like 27. That's like what we see later in January or later this month. But yeah, this was my first video in November, so yeah, it's kind of cool. But yeah, I do apologize that I could not post a video yesterday. Again, it was Halloween, yeah. But let me know what you got, how much candy you guys got. I went out for 3 hours. It was very, very windy. It was incredibly windy. It was cold, super cold. But yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, guys. It really means a lot when you guys check out my channel and support my channel. We're not too far from 1900. Let's go ahead and get there before the end of November. And if you guys really enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button. But again, in this video, we are going to be talking about the possibilities of many cold fronts, or we're going to be basically doing in the U.S. forecast, and we're going to be talking about the major cold fronts that could be coming in for the first week of November and much of November. So let's get in this video. So here we are looking at the National Weather Service just to go over the active alerts we have in the United States. So again, we have a lot of action in the... Let's see, the Epic Pen can maybe actually work. The Epic Pen's always really weird when you first use it. But let's see if it actually works now. And nope, it's not working. Okay, so here we have this main area in the east where we have a lot of issues basically with wind and all that. So yeah, it's going to be very, very windy for many areas. We do have some freeze warnings. I'm actually currently still, and when it's pretty chilly, it's only about 56 degrees. That was a high. So we have freeze warnings in effect for the Ohio Valley. We have some out here through Tennessee, through northern Georgia, much of Alabama, and yeah, again, I am in the freeze warnings, and then we have more freeze warnings for the other side of the East Coast, more for areas near Harrisburg, areas into New Jersey, New Brunswick, New York City. We have areas near into the Connecticut coast. We have areas and all the way to North Carolina, and we also have frost advisories for more areas of south or southern or central Alabama. We have areas in Montgomery, Montgomery. We have some frost advisories, and also that'll be an issue near Raleigh, and also near the area of Clemson and Charleston. So we are going to be looking at the quick radar really quickly, just against this is a U.S. forecast. But we're not going to have too much action this weekend. So this is Saturday. We could have a couple snow or a couple flurries out there near Fargo and into areas. We have a mix out there into northern Michigan. But we're not going to have any big rain systems, any big snow systems at all. So again, other than Bessie that has ended, we're not going to have too much action. By Mondays, when we see a bit more precipitation, we could have a snowstorm coming into the areas in the Midwest that could bring some snow for areas out there into Wisconsin. By Wednesday, November 6th, we could have maybe another snowstorm that could be bringing some snow from Madison, Milwaukee, Minneapolis. Looks like this could be a more snowmaker from Minneapolis all the way into Montana, and it could actually bring some good amount of snow also near Detroit into Green Bay. And then that can also bring in a very big rainstorm to form the day later on the 7th of November. This can cause a lot of severe weather for areas near Joplin, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and near Lubbock. We can have some more rain out there. And this could actually bring in another system. This could actually bring in some Appalachian snowfall. So we can have our first snowfall in Kentucky, our first snowfall in Virginia, and even northern those areas of North Carolina. This will actually stretch all the way from Maine. So basically the Appalachians, we have areas in northern Maine, also Vermont, areas near New York. We have areas near Erie into Pittsburgh where we could have that snow coming from many of those areas. It won't bring in too much rain. It won't bring in too much snow accumulation-wise for the Appalachians near the Georgia area and also North Carolina. And then we can also have by Monday, November 11th, we could have another snowstorm that could bring very heavy snow near Duluth, even a mix. And these snowstorms are forming won't bring in too much of a rainmaker, except for the one that is, I believe, November 6th or November 7th. This will be the only big rainmaker. So yeah, it's very weird. Again, it is looking like we could have a couple snowstorms, but not very big name snowstorms. We don't really see big snowstorms until mid-November. Again, these models are so very far out, so we can't exactly say it's not going to happen or it will happen. So again, here's the 8th to 14th outlook. We're going to be looking at this. This goes all the way from November 9th to November 15th. So we're going to be seeing exactly what we can see in the next coming of weeks. Or we can say the next coming days. So we're not going to be, we are going to be looking at the other stuff that shows from today through all the way to mid-November. We're going to be seeing exactly what the good is. The forecast is for beginning to mid-November. So again, we also have, it looks like it can be very, very warm for areas in the west and very, very cold in the east. So this is the usual pattern we see once it comes to November. So we're going to be seeing the ridge coming around right here is when we see this ridge cut out. But it's not going to be, this is not going to be the ridge. The ridge is not going to form like this. It will be like more like this. It will be kind of the ridge. It will be like in between these areas right here and then form off and then come and cut it right there. So this will keep the cold air right here. We'll have a kind of little high pressure system that'll keep this off, and we'll have a low pressure system that keeps this here, and then we'll have a high pressure system here that will keep this heat here and it's the dry conditions. So again, we'll have very warm or a good amount or above average from all the way from Nebraska to the west coast. We're seeing very warm conditions though for more to the southwest and northwest, more of the general west area. So we could have 3 degrees to 5 degrees above average for these areas in this inside this line for many areas for Phoenix, areas in Salt Lake City, Logan, Utah, areas in the Four Corners. We have areas near Boise. We have Salem. We have Salem, Oregon, and then so yeah, many areas in the west could be seeing up to more than 3 degrees above average. And then we have this bullseye. Again, this could change. This changes every day. So, but this is what we see right now. This is where we're going to be seeing the warmest conditions for the next coming of days. And that'll be around maybe 5 to 8 degrees above average, where we can have that for near Las Vegas, Carson City, Nevada, Sacramento, Los Angeles, San Francisco, areas in northern near the Grand Canyon area. So that's what we see in those warmer conditions. And then we have the cooler conditions. We'll be seeing very cold conditions inside this circle area. So that'll be in for areas near Minneapolis, areas near Raleigh, Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio, Indianapolis, areas near Springfield. We have Des Moines, and yeah, we have those areas in the other colors. Again, we have below average right here, right in here, but again, it's only like about maybe a degree or 3 below average, maybe even 4. And then we have very cold conditions out here in this dark blue. So this is this color shade. So that'll be in for around 3 to 6 degrees below average. That'll be for Green Bay, Chicago. You're just in there. We have areas near Cleveland, Ohio. We have areas near Washington D.C. We have State College. We have Hartford. We have Providence. Providence, and then we have areas into Portland, Maine, where we do have those cooler conditions, and then it looks like we have the coldest conditions right here in this. I believe this is the 5th shade. I think I don't know. This would be out here into areas near Albany, New York, Buffalo, New York, Syracuse, New York. We have Burlington, New Hampshire, and also Concord, New Hampshire, where we could have seen the coolest conditions for more into a closer call for mid-November. So now we'll be looking at the temperature anomaly all the way into like mid-November too. So we're going to be looking at these cold fronts again. It's going to be very cold for many areas. So we have a huge area tomorrow that can bring in a lot of cold air all the way from Montana all the way into the East Coast. Again, this won't be the only cold front. This is the cold front that brought in very cold temperatures for Halloween, and it'll continue bringing up to around 4 to 6 degrees below average for much of the East Coast. And then so we have this hype coming in with this heat for the West. So we have that normal pattern coming in. Again, just Florida is just going to continue to see these warmer temperatures, or more like central and southern Florida. And then as we go into November 6th, we have a bit of a warm up coming in through many areas in the plains. You might think, oh, this is going to be another huge warm front. But again, no, we have this cold air that's going to keep it. We're going to have this cold air, this little ridge, going to keep this cold air here. So kind of cut off like this. So that will actually keep it, this pattern. So it won't get too big of a warm front, or it shouldn't. Again, it might get last minute. And again, but as we go in the next day, it will be a huge cold front. Again, we'll have this ridge stay like this. You can see the white line. That's going to be where the ridge is. And then we'll have very, very cold conditions. Again, this is November 8th. So again, as you can tell, we have this very, very well below average, or well below Average temperatures up to 12 to 16 degrees below average. We have many areas out there in the Midwest and the Ohio Valley that would be seeing around up to 8 to 12 degrees below average. And then we have the warmer air. Oh, looks like I gotta charge my computer. I'll actually just do it when I'm done. But yeah, we have warmer air, of course, out there in the west. So areas in near Cheyenne, Wyoming, Billings, Montana, Sacramento, all you guys are in the west, or more like the northwest and the Rockies, you guys would definitely be seeing less snowstorms to come for early November. And as you can tell, we get this cold front. We have another cold blast. It can be our first cold blast, like real cold blast. This will be coming straight to the East Coast again, and we still have this one right here. This will bring 4 to 6 degrees below average, and then we have a bit of a warm up out there in the Midwest. But this could be a very, very big cold front. We can have this cold air possibly coming back to the west, so this could cause a snowstorm. Again, with the European model, we looked at the radar, showed a snowstorm at the time for the Midwest. Again, this would be very, very cold temperatures up to, again, this is November, guys, so we're going to start to feel these rocket or very cold conditions. And this will come straight to the south. We have a bit of a warm up for the south. It will be our first warm up in the south in a long time based on this. But we'll have a huge cold front that will bring in a huge, this ridge will go super down south. So this will be a cold front when it goes all the way down to Texas. This will bring in very cold conditions up to maybe 20 degrees below average for areas near Dodge City. And then that'll be all the way from Montana. And this will move east, and this could bring in a very cold mid-November to November 16th, and then all the way to November 17th, close to my Thanksgiving break, we'll have very cold conditions. So it looks like it will be generally cold November based on this. Again, we'll have a bit of a warm up to the west for the first couple of days, but again, as we go past maybe November 12th or 14th, or maybe even past November 15th, it looks like we could have neutral conditions for the west, but it looks like it could be very, very cold in the east, and especially the northeast and the Midwest. So we're definitely looking like we could have major cold fronts that could bring in major snowstorms, that could bring in major rainfall for areas. So it's definitely look like we're going to have a very, very wet November, if you think about it, and I'm actually having my November forecast come out this weekend. I don't know if it's tomorrow or Sunday. I'll try my best to have it tomorrow. So, but again, expect that video to come out a bit later. So let's wait for the European to come out. Alright, here we go. I was actually about to pause this to wait. I hate how we have to do this. I don't like spoiling it, but I don't know why it keeps on doing this. I already refreshed it and everything, so it shouldn't do this. So yeah, we gotta wait for these model things or the hours to set in. But again, this will get around or close to November 15th, so it's not gonna go, or maybe November 14th, so it's not gonna go as far as the GFS does, of course. So again, in the next 12 hours, we're gonna have this very cold air right here. The European does do it a bit more to the central United States instead of the northeast. Again, this could bring in very cold conditions, though, obviously, for many areas into the Midwest and maybe even the Ohio Valley. So many areas right here could be seeing up to 11 degrees below average. And then we have this warm air kicking in, bringing up to 10 degrees above average for the northern coast, or for the west coast near the areas of Reading. Again, as we go, I don't know why this thing is taking too long. But again, obviously, we are going to be seeing very cold conditions. But I think the region that will see the coldest November will be the northeast and or the mid Atlantic, and obviously, I think the Midwest could be seeing very cold conditions. And then I think the third coldest will be right here, and then the warmest will be right here. So yeah, it's definitely going to be very cold in the northeast. I can tell we will be seeing up to 12 degrees below average, and then we have another cold front. We're having cold front after cold front after cold front based on this. Look how big this cold front is. This is up to 13 degrees below average. Again, when we have cold front after cold front after cold front, it really usually means that we're going to see this pattern continue until springtime. So yeah, once we have cold front after cold front after cold front, it usually continues the whole year. So we again up to 18 degrees below average, and as we go in more into the cold months, it gets worse and worse and worse. As you can tell, as we go more into November, we see the worse the cold fronts to get and how the stronger they get. As you can tell, we'll have up to 15 degrees below average for Minneapolis, areas near Omaha, Nebraska, and this can bring record cold temperatures for many areas in the northeast. So again, it's definitely going to be cold for the east United States, and very warm for the western United States. For warm stands for warmth and for west, and then you can say maybe I don't know anything with E that can stand for cold. But again, as you can tell, we have more cold fronts. Look, they kind of connect. Look how big it intensifies right here. It just intensifies. Look how much bigger this one is. Like, just how big these are. Up to 19 degrees below average. And this will definitely affect the United States a lot. It looks like we have a bit of a warm up, though, by 11th of November. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And see you guys next time.